Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Okay. Let's see if we have something currently approved. Nope, we don't. So last session we were looking at the 3D audio thingy here, audio issue or difference or discrepancy or whatever. Yeah, so audio settings. Audio settings. So we need to add a new audio setting. Now, let me go to audio settings. There we go. There they are. Global min range, max range. Get audio settings. Who's setting this audio setting? Global. Let me open this. Global min range, max range. Global min range, max range. .3D sound volume. Global min range, global max range. So I would say we add a new setting here. Global. How do we call it? Use 3D sound distance fade, something like that. Use 3D sound distance fade. Sound So listener position, distance, positional audio. Sound volume. Video audio. Distance. 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 S- 3D sound, distance, fade, mode. Three sounds. Here's 3D sounds. Distance, fade. Spur. It's 3D. 3D sound, distance fade. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Use. Is that a good name or not? Use 3D sound distance fade. It reads a bit strange. Mm. Maybe range zoom in distance. What the hell is that? Zoom sound? What the hell is that? Zoom in distance. It's used for nothing. Great. Use 3D sound range fade. Range. In audio events, sound effects in a. There we have min range, max range. Yeah, okay, so let's say we need to use the word range. Yeah, that's already good. And then 3D sound, does that make sense? Type, world, everyone. World. Use. We should use world as a term as well, so that it aligns with this one here. Use world sound range fade. World sound range fade. Use world sound range fade. World sound. Use world sound range fade. Yeah. 3D sounds. Range fade. Use world sound range fade. Sound. Use 3D sound range fade. I'm not sure we should use world or 3D, like, because we also have 3D here, right? So there's precedence to this thing calling it 3D. Use 3D sound range fade. Okay, let's go with that for now. Then we add a new field here. Boor. Man, they don't have defaults here for all the things. Maybe we should initialize all these things here. Yeah. Maybe not. It would be easier to initialize it with C++ 20 or 11. Yeah. Good. I think we just do. So false. Okay. Then let's add a comment here. So I guess add feature new configuration. New configuration to enable configuration for enabling 3D sounds range fade as originally intended. range. Volume fade. Volume fade. Okay, so, and then we take this guy, so it's default initialized with false, and then we do Miles Audio Manager. And so I think what we do is, if object distance is larger than that and volume is 0, object distance object distance is larger than that. Distance, yeah. Is that correct? That seems weird. Object distance divided object min distance. So let's say, yeah, that seems weird. So then, like, if this one is 300 and the min distance is 150, then this is 2. 1 divided by 2, then 0.5. So the volume is halved. But it doesn't, like, it should go, if it's reaching max distance, it should reach 0, right? So this one doesn't factor that. We need to lerp it. Yeah, this looks wrong here. Given the following code, how do we lerp it correctly? Full volume 0 real t, so it's what they brought down here. Object distance minus min distance divided by max distance minus that. Yeah, so this is a correct lerp here. Why did they do it like that? I don't know. They decided that this is a good idea. Well, it never worked, so it is totally irrelevant what this says here. Yeah. Okay, so this one is still the correct lerp. Yeah. max distance. Hmm. Max distance. Yeah. So I wonder if we should already verify that these min-max distances are. So this one needs to be larger than this one, right? Same for this. Because like if they would be equal, then it would mean that this term here could become 0, which obviously is not what we would like to do. Yeah. So we take this. Okay, who's writing max distance? Max distance. So, max distance. Override max range. Max. Okay. Dynamic audio event info. I think it needs to be legal that they have the same value. Yeah. Then we need to say, well, I mean, if they are the same, then this would already be covered by this. If it's larger than in this sense. Yeah. It's probably good enough. Yeah, it's probably good enough, yeah. No need to add anything else. Yeah. Okay, looks good to me. Yeah. So object distance minus this. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then we say if audio settings here we can do a const let's just put it here. Audio settings MUs I think that would work. Yeah. Okay, let's set it to true by default. Yeah. Okay, I think that's about it. Yeah. Then let me mute the music here and enable here the audio so we can listen to the audio. Yeah. While we wait for the compilation, let's see what's new here. Let's take a look at this one here. Backport some optimizations from the 0-hour version to make the unification diff a little smaller. At local variable optimizations. Okay, let's look through this. Blah, blah, blah. So, get zone, okay. This layer. Zone. Okay, is unused, is destroyed. This layer. Is unused, is destroyed, blah blah. Okay, okay, it's just a rename here. Okay. It's a reference, yeah. Okay. Trouble. Something's missing here. Left cell. That looks a bit strange. This cell, left cell, blah, 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 blah. Yep, yep. Okay. Okay. Okay, then let's get back here. Okay, let's test this guy. So basically, we would like now to see or hear a perfect lerp from min range to max range. So if we look at the Patriots, well, audio sound effects, oof. Well, explosion Patriots, battery selects, battery weapon. So It doesn't have a min range and max range. Yeah. So I assume that means it will. What will happen then? Does this have a default? No? Huh. What happens if it has no value? Huh. Huh. I think there's also a default sound, right? Somewhere. Default. No? I think there's like a default sound that it first applies. I can't remember where that is though. There's somewhere a default audio event or something. Min range. Global min range. Default. There we go. Default sound effect. Okay. So this one is the standard, and I think this one is applied to all sounds. Pass audio event definition. So it first passes the default sound effects and then the custom sound effect settings. So it will always default to these here. Yeah.
Clocked in. Laying the foundation. Going up. That one's done. Keep 'em busy. Bring on the scaffolding. Any more projects? Loud and clear. What's the story?
Let's try some other thing.
Going up. That one's done. Getting to work.
This helicopter maybe.
Oh, signing for this.
It's very quiet.
I got the goods. Provisions en route.
Yeah, it seems to work correctly. Now, from player perspective, you could argue that it's way too quiet now. Which is a reasonable observation. Like, it's really quiet right on the edge. But it's configurable, so either the ranges could be adjusted, or maybe we could also have a new setting. So let me ask here. Can you? I would like to have a. I'd like to have an exponential fader where I'd like to have an exponential fader where the curve gets steeper only towards the max range. So now the fade is linear. I'd like to have an exponential fader where the curves get steeper only towards the max range. Let me see what he suggests there. Normalize the distance, clamp. Simple power curve. Exponent attenuation. Tweak this. 2 to 6 is typical. Attenuation. Very small. Volume stays high. The exponent is very small. Curve drops sharply. T1. Exponent attenuation. True exponential curve. Oof. Stays extremely flat, then collapses quickly near max distance. It's perfectly normalized to hit 0 and 1 exactly. It's heavier. Starts dropping immediately. Object distance. Okay, why is this necessary then here? T clamp. Huh? Ah. Ah. Let's see. Clamp. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think the clamping will not be necessary, so we'll just be doing this here. Then use 3D sound range, volume fade. So that means we probably need a new setting where we say exponent. So we have exponents, attenuation. How do we call this? Power curve. 2 to 6 is typical exponent. Then maybe we do real 3D sound range attenuation exponents. New configuration for settings 3D sounds range. Volume attenuation exponents for non-linear fades. Enable 3D sound range volume fades. Okay. Okay, then we say here if that get audio settings, why don't we have a get audio settings? Const audio settings. Let's do const audio settings. Audio settings equals this shit. Okay. Else. Okay. And then here we do volume. T. So T is that. Yeah, I don't think we need to clamp. Clamping already happens here and here. Yeah, so I think what we do, so this one we still need volume, and then dot 0f minus attenuation. Then here we do real attenuation equals that, and then this attenuation as the POV. Density of exponent is larger 1.0f. Well, what happened if it was? Maybe we just do maybe we just pass it always. Attenuation. Maybe we don't need a condition here. Just like so. Well, how about so? Yes, that is correct, and it does exactly what you described earlier. Blah, blah, blah. Attenuation 0 at max distance. Shape the curve exponent. Values near 0 stay very small. Values near 1 grow quickly. At min, volume unchanged. Near max, volume drops sharply. At max, falls to 0 by first branch. Linear fades. Late drop. Mild late drops before strong late drop. Very sharp cliff near max. Can we plot graph. plot XY graph. I don't know. Oh, I know this one. Yeah. So equals x. Can we do power x 4? Does that work? How do we do power? How do we add a power of I don't know. What is the formula to plot this as a XY graph? fx1 minus xn. Ah, okay. So fx equals x equals 1 minus x 4. Well, that doesn't look right. Let's try y. Like this. Okay. 6. Oof. Straight line. Yeah. Okay. 2. Okay. 3. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. But it's not that steep. I mean, yeah, it's here. But I would have expected more like so. Like it's really not much here at all. Let's go again to 2. 3. Yeah. 15. 10. 8. 8. 8. 8 looks pretty decent to me. So you still have full volume until half the distance, and then it slowly starts to fade. Yeah, but maybe it's a bit too slow. Let's try 6. 6. So it's almost full volume until half, and then it's slowly. Yeah. Maybe it's a bit too steep as well. 4. Let's try 4. I think 4 looks pretty decent. Yeah. So. Four. 0. Okay. Attenuation is 1 minus that. So slightly over 1. So we want to make a clamp here. But can this really happen? Clamp 0, 1. Attenuation. Is this clamp really necessary? If we reach max distance, let me ask, is the clamp really necessary? Not strictly necessary, but it depends on how defensive you want to be. You never compute T, clamp not needed, yes. Smaller than this, you also never compute T, clamp not needed. Mathematically, 0 smaller T, smaller 1. No clamp required. Is clamp necessary? No. Logically, no. Usually, no. When clamp would be necessary, remove the branch, factor branchless math, have flow point drift near boundaries. Allow that equals that. Lightweight safety. Min. Range. not. Meh. I don't know. Could clamp, could not clamp. Could clamp or not clamp. Could clamp or not clamp. I don't know. Do we want to clamp? Thing is, we want to be conservative here about cost, right? Because this thing gets updated every frame for all the sounds, right? So there's cost to this. So, I mean, even the POV is not great. Yeah. Yeah. Attenuation. Maybe. I would say we put this condition first. Yeah. Because there's no need to test this if this is already false, right? Yeah, attenuation, clamp. Do we need to clamp? So this is guaranteed to be larger than this, right? Because otherwise it would have already entered this branch here, right? So this one must be greater than 0, yeah. No, I'm mistaken. This one can be 0. No, it can't be, because then we're in here. Yeah. Continuation. Okay, I think that's fine. Man, my headset is making noises. Needs some fixing. Okay, I think it's fine. Do we need the clamp? I don't know. Factor to branchless math. Floating point drift near boundaries. Allow. Allow negative ranges. Huh. Okay, let's keep the clamp for now, yeah, to really avoid any mishaps. Yeah. Although I suspect it's not necessary.
EA Games. Challenge everything.
So you should be able to hear, yeah? Yeah. So. So now what we should be able to hear is sounds.
Want to make some improvements?
So these sounds relatively loud, but then get sharply quieter
All
towards the
finished.
edges.
Made in the US of A. All finished.
Okay, good. This is pretty decent.
Have a job for me? I'll build anywhere. Good everyone's done.
Something for everyone. Serving our country. Right on schedule.
Put a breakpoint in here. Min distance 150. attenuation 0.3. Zero 0.96. Yeah. Zero. Okay. Volume already was at 0. What the hell? Why? Music volume, speech volume. What? Why are they all 0? What is this? Huh? What? What's this? Is the debugger just tripping or? Huh? I'm confused. Audio manager. All these are 0. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Ah, it's because we're tapped out. That's why. Ah, right. Right. When we tap out of the game, then it sets these things to 0. Yeah. Let's see. I see. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well. How about we do the following? If attenuation is smaller than 0 or is larger than 1, then we add here some breakpoints like that. Okay. Let's see if we hit that. If we don't hit it, then I would say we remove the clamp. Yeah.
EA Games. Challenge everything.
What's the story? Good area. All finished. Sounds good. Bring on the scaffolding. I'll build anywhere. Good area. All finished.
Okay, then So if we were to visualize this properly, then we would say here 1 minus, right? And then, yeah. So it starts at 1 and then it goes down like this to 0. Yeah. So until here, so until like past 75% of the distance, it drops to half the volume. And then there's a steep decline. Yeah, I think that looks pretty fair. Yeah, it's pretty fair. Okay, to me it looks like we can remove the clamp. We don't hit here any problems. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So attenuation exponent is 4. Volume times that. Okay. Yeah, I think this looks good to me. Distance. Audio settings. Well. Yeah. I think that's okay. Okay, then enable 3 down ranges, enable 3 sounds range, volume fade as originally intended. Say 3 sounds range volume fades. Non-linear fade is the higher the value, the higher the exponent, the sharper the decline at the end of the range, at the max range. We should add a note like we did up here. So today is 01/03/2026 with ads setting to enable the 3D sounds range volume fade as originally intended. And then it's setting to set attenuation exponent for 3D sounds, range volume to fade non-linearly. Setting for sounds, range volume. So, yeah, documentation always takes the longest. At setting setting for the volume of money deposit and withdraw sounds. Setting to enable the 3D sounds range. Setting to enable the 3D sound range. Setting. To fade 3D sounds, right? Set a comment here. This, the higher the exponent, the sharper the decline of the max range. Should be marked as feature. Maybe it really sounds right. Oh man, I hate documentation. Oh, I never know how to write this shit. Enable 3D sounds, range, volume, fade. I have the impression we should add this here. Say feature. Modify the volume of money deposit and withdraw sounds. Change the value. Money deposit. Modify. Give it by default because it does sound. Does sound much better. Exponent of 4 gives a nice balance between what about nice balance between the original. Gives a nice balance between the original so exponent of 4 gives a nice balance between the original gives a nice balance between loud between gives a nice balance between loud sounds and graceful fade. Then we remove this here. Enable 3D sounds. 3D sound range. Okay, I think we can go with this. Yeah. Maybe the comment is a bit long here. Should do it like that. Okay. Yeah, we spent way too much time with the documentation, but I think it's always good to spend the time to write about this. Yeah. For the next person to understand what's actually going on. Okay. Do not distribute. Well, too late for that. uh. Mm-hmm. Good. I think I'm happy with this change. Mhm. Then we can reset this here again. And this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We still need to add this one here. Parse real. Three sound range volume. Fade exponents. Let's rename this to 3 sound range volume fade exponent range volume fade exponent for nonlinear fade. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, that has compiled. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Environment 180% restore sound. Okay. because it sounds, let's say it sounds more graceful this way. Because it avoids audio cutoff at max ranges. It prevents audio cutoff. Max range of 3D sounds. The max range. Okay. Okay, great. Then let me create a branch for this guy. Fix 3D sounds fade. Rename. Okay, so this is bug fix. Audio. Fix 3D audio fade and make it configurable in audio settings. .any. Sounds range volume fade with exponential curve. Fix 3D. Fix range volume fade of 3D sounds and make it configurable in audio settings any. Fix range volume fade of 3D sounds and make it configurable in audio settings any. Okay. Okay, let me see if there was any addition here. Nope. Okay, so this change fixes assigning okay, then we need to document it properly. So this change introduced okay, follow up for this. This change is a follow-up. Let me actually... This one is marked as a refactor. Well, it's also fix. This change was not just a refactor. It did change behavior of 3D sounds. This change is a follow-up for this, which accidentally changed the behavior. Of 3D sounds volume. Originally, the sounds did not consider the distance, the 3D distance checks in get effective volume, get effective volume. They were considered. Sounds did not consider. Sounds did not consider for the volume. They were considered for some logic, but not for the actual volume. This meant that the volume never correctly faded. This meant that the volume never correctly faded between the min and max ranges of audio events and left sharp cutoffs. Bug major audio. Did not correctly consider for some logic, but not for the actual volume logic. Never correctly faded between the min and max ranges of audio events and left sharp audio cutoffs instead. This this behavior was changed with that, but insufficiently. It's accidentally changed with this, but insufficiently. One, the fades fade math. Then that was incorrect. And the commented math was actually correct. 2. Actually correct for a linear scale, a linear fade. 2. Considering the original 3D sounds never faded correctly, it means they were loud. They were always loud on one ear. They were always loud, and therefore a exponential fade is suitable. They were always loud, and therefore an exponential fade is suitable to preserve the original loudness. The fade mask was incorrect. Unused. Whenever fade correctly means they were always loud, and therefore an exponential fade is suitable to better preserve the original loudness. The new configuration options. New configuration options have been added. Configurations options were added for. Man, the way I write this shit is so confusing. This changes a follow-up, which accidentally changed the behavior. Originally, the sounds did not correctly consider the 3 distance checks in that. They were considered for some logic, but not for the actual volume. Not for the actual volume. This means that the volume never correctly faded between the min and max ranges of audio events and left sharp audio cuts offs instead. This behavior was accidentally changed with that, but insufficiently. The originally unused fade mouth and that was incorrect. The commented mask fade math was actually say linear fade math was actually correct. Never faded correctly. It means they were say the original 3D sounds were always loud all the way to the max range because they never faded correctly. Therefore, an expansion fade is suitable to better preserve the original loudness of 3D sounds. Audio settings.ini. New configurations were added to audio settings.ini. to control the behavior. Audio settings. This one and this. Yes, no. One and sets modifiers. About it to control the behavior. Control the 3D sounds fades behavior. Set to false. Set no for legacy behavior. Original bug behavior. Set 1 for linear fades. Larger one for sharp fades towards max range. Fade near max range. Okay, then exponential fade. I picked the exponent for which creates a curve like this, and sound good. So let's make this larger. Let's take a screenshot of this here. There we go. This is a follow-up which accidentally changed the behavior of 3D sounds. Which accidentally changed the volume of 3D sounds depending on the distance to the camera pivot. Originally, the sounds did not correctly consider the 3D distance camera. Sounds did not correctly consider the 3D distance checks. They were considered for some logic, but not for the actual volume. This meant that the volume never correctly fitted between the min and max ranges of audio events and left sharp audio cuts off instead. This behavior was accidentally changed, but insufficiently. Accidentally and insufficiently change the volume of depending on the distance to the camera. Problems. Original angle was incorrect. Actually correct. The original 3D sounds were always loud all the way to the max range because they never faded correctly. Therefore, an exponential fade is suitable to better preserve the original loudness of 3D sounds. Control the 3D sounds fade behavior. Okay. Exponential fade. Left sharp audio cutoffs instead. The originally unused fade math again was incorrect. Common linear fade math was actually correct. Okay, I think that accurately describes the change. Fixed range, volume fade of 3D sounds and make it configurable. Okay. Fix range volume, fade. Okay, good. Let's see if we can review something else. This one's still waiting. Okay. Let's take a look at this. 2D distance calculation was incorrect due to operator precedence. What is this? Dis squared. Yeah. Yeah, it probably needs to be parentheses around these guys here. Yeah. This one also could just use SQR plus SQR that. Yeah. How did you fix it? Yeah, I don't like the way he fixed it. SQR plus SQR or can we simplify it in one line? So is this user facing? Replace the calculation with a proper square distance formula. Only affects local stuff, control bar, game UI, audio. I don't see we need to add retail macro because since this affects only player base UI behavior when it comes to radar event and spacebar key. If player discovered stealth unit or we on attack event, then player being attacked. A 2D distance calculation was incorrect. What is the what was the user facing bug? Yeah. Yeah, we need to understand if this was a user-facing bug or not. Right now, it's not clear. Player-based UI behavior when it comes to radar events and spacebar key. So, but what is the actual bug? Like, how does the user see this bug with the distance calculation? That we need some explanation because it's unclear. Because if it is not actually user observable, then it's not a bug. Then it's just a fix, and yeah, and not that big of a deal, right? Okay, so we got that. Implement state. So what do we have here? Refactor length to that. No. Okay. Waiting for feedback. This one is a draft. What do we have here? This one still needs work. Yeah. This one will need work after the other one is merged. This one is still a draft. This one needs a review. This one is a draft. This one needs a review. This one, I think that one still needs work. No. This one can be reviewed. Yeah. So what does it say? Our current implementation of Dummy Audio Manager is incomplete because it cannot return the actual length of audio files. Replays will mismatch if they contain scripts that rely on this. Aha. Okay. Oof. Okay, it removes the whole thing. Audio Manager Dummy. Audio Manager. Audio Manager that does nothing. Used for headless mode. Miles Audio Manager Dummy. This way I'm trying complete implementation of Audio Manager. Show clearly more so than the comment which functions are not overridden. Okay, that's fair. Okay, so what did he do then here? Scripts may require the actual audio file lengths to function properly. The Miles Audio Manager handles the device opening closure so that get file length MS can function as intended. So it will have some minimal what? Oof. Create Audio Manager in its subsystem. Headless. Headless. Maybe maybe do dummy. Because it may not just be headless that wants to spawn, that wants to use a dummy. Yeah. In the future. Okay, and where's the implementation of that thing? Here. No. That's also the declaration. Where's the implementation? I don't understand. Eh? Ah. The miles. Aha. I see. Okay, I see. So basically it doesn't override these guys here. Just everything else with empty implementations, but it can still load files here. I see. Haha. Okay, I think that makes sense, yeah. Yeah. Use for headless. Okay, the dummy should not care in what context it is used. Dummy class. Okay, I think it makes sense, yeah. Yeah. Perhaps do the same for perhaps mirror the implementation for radar. Currently also does. Perhaps clarify that this is CSC relevant. Okay. Good. What's the time? 2 hours 30. Well, we worked pretty slow, I would say. Okay. I think I will take a break here. Yeah. The next session we can do... We can look into this one here. Yeah. Which looks something like that. Yeah. Okay. Then I will end it here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.